A new study shows over 60% of everything you do at work today is already decided by your automatic habits, which means without you even realizing, your habits are either accelerating your executive career or holding you back from the recognition and promotion you want. I've used these 3 science-backed rules to help hundreds of leaders get promoted. In this video, I'll walk you through each rule, the science behind them, and exactly how to use them to easily install executive habits that fast-track your career. Let's get into rule number 1, which reveals a surprising lie that the habits and wellness industry has been selling you. I see a lot of leaders relying on sheer willpower for months, even years, trying to install better habits that will finally help land them that promotion. They restart the same habit for the 100th time, break the streak again, Whoop tells them they missed a day again, and they're left wondering why they're doing everything right, but nothing sticks. It is exhausting. Now, the reason you find it so hard to stick to your executive habits might surprise you, because I've noticed a lie buried in almost every habit book, course, productivity influencer, and until you see it, it will keep sabotaging your progress. I believed it too, until my own health forced me to question everything. I was bedridden and housebound for years with severe chronic fatigue syndrome. London's top doctor told me there is no cure. I refused to accept my fate. I tried everything. If there was a treatment or specialist, I'd try it. But nothing changed. I really did start to believe that there was no cure until I found a brain training approach based on neuroscience. I was skeptical but desperate, so I tried it. The idea was simple and it made sense. Your brain is like a muscle. The pathways you use the most get stronger, faster, and become your default. And just like muscles, the ones you don't use get weaker and harder to use. It enabled me to see for the first time what was actually happening to me. My brain was running the same negative loop on repeat. I'm so tired. That thought triggered exhaustion, which triggered more I'm so tired thoughts, and round I went. I was trapped in a chronic fatigue habit circuit. The program taught me to stop fighting my body and instead interrupt the habit circuit and rebuild my desired reality. Within just 3 days, I went from barely functioning to regular CrossFit. Within months, I was traveling and working abroad. That is when I saw the lie. Your leadership habits don't change because you force yourself to do them for 21, 30, or even 60 days or more. They change because you break your habit circuit by reinforcing different neuropathways, and which neuropathways you consistently reinforce become your default habit. Which brings us to rule number 1. Your habits are a reflection of the neuropathways you reinforce. And because your brain is plastic, meaning it changes, grows, and develops as a result of how you use it, the speed and ease of habit change isn't about days or willpower. It's about how consistently you reinforce your new neuropathways. So now you understand that habits form through the neuropathways you reinforce. The next rule answers this question. But which neuropathways are you reinforcing without even realizing it? And the answer might surprise you because it goes much deeper than most leaders expect. For years, my client Sin struggled with food, exercise, and worst-case scenario thinking in her life and business. Under stress and pressure, her brain would go straight to, if I lose control, everything will fall apart. So like most leaders, she tried to fix it at the surface level for years with better habits like a strict diet, exercise, meditation, boundaries, disciplined morning routine. But nothing changed. She was left feeling exhausted, frustrated, disappointed, ready to give up on her business. And that's when we started working together. We didn't focus on changing her leadership habits. Instead, we went far deeper. This is because your habits habits reflect your strongest neural pathways, which are a mirror of who you believe you are. Think of habit change like a 3-layered onion. The first outside layer is outcomes. So what you want, like a £10,000 pay rise, winning a promotion, getting that career accolade. The middle layer is habits. This is what you do, like implementing a new routine, meditation practice, going to bed earlier. And the third, deepest layer is identity. This is who you believe you are. Like, I'm a failure. I'm a successful woman who doesn't take any bullshit. So instead of forcing habit change against Sin's 3 lifelong held patterns around food, exercise, and worst case scenario thinking, we got very clear on who she wanted to be, what she wanted to believe about herself, and how she showed up as that version of herself every single day, which led to her new leadership habits falling into place easily and automatically. She became consistent with eating healthy and genuinely enjoyed it for the first time in her life. Exercise became something she looked forward to every day. And importantly, she became a leader and business owner with unshakable confidence, optimism, and belief that her business will grow. As a result, within just a few weeks, she landed some of her biggest client contracts, which created the opportunity to relocate her family to Barcelona. Which brings us to rule number 2. If you want to build lasting executive habits, you have to change your beliefs that are driving them. But upgrading your beliefs alone won't get you to the next level in your career. You need rule number 3 to avoid the common mistake I see most leaders making that kills their momentum towards their next promotion. And I saw it clearly with Stephen. He was overwhelmed, distracted, constantly busy, being pulled in every direction. His career had stalled and burnout was closing in. But no matter how much effort, time, and discipline he poured into fixing this situation, nothing changed. In fact, the harder he tried, the deeper the hole got. He beat himself up every day for failing in his career. He didn't know what else to do. It all felt hopeless. The real problem for Stephen wasn't his effort or experience. It was one mistake almost every leader makes. He was trying to dig himself out of the hole by fixing all of his bad habits at once. So we did something very different. We stopped trying to fix everything and focused on one habit, a simple daily work check-in and check-out. At the start and end of each workday, he'd answer a few key questions like, what are my 1 to 3 key priorities for today? What 1 to 3 things will I do today to show up as my best leader? What's the one thing I won't let derail me? This triggered a dominoes effect across his career. Very quickly, he became focused, productive, confident, positive, resilient. He believed in himself again. And within just 12 months, he'd received a new job offer, 2 big promotions, and a nice juicy £36,000 pay rise. Which brings us to rule number 3. Not all habits are created equal. Scientist and Pulitzer Prize-winning author Charles Duhigg call these keystone habits. Change one habit and you trigger a tidal wave of transformation across your career, as well as all the other good habits fall into place, making that promotion inevitable. But most leaders get building keystone habits wrong. They chase the wrong habits like cold plunges, power suits and poses, cutting out filler words, and they wonder why their confidence still isn't there and why that promotion remains elusive. The key to finding your keystone habit is to think about your future promoted self and now answer the questions on the screen. But knowing your keystone habit isn't enough. When you're driving your car and you see a pothole ahead, you don't drive straight into it, you spot it, plan your route around it, and avoid it. Same principle right here. Before you start building your keystone habit, ask yourself, what's most likely to derail me and what can I do now to avoid it? Plan your detour before you hit the pothole. This stacks the chances of success in your favor. So now you have the 3 science-backed rules to stop your habits holding you back and start fast tracking your next promotion. But knowing these rules alone won't get you promoted. Implementing them will. The leaders I work with land promotions, pay rises, and new executive roles within about 12 months. I help them create a highly individualized, proven system and make sure it works for them in the absolute best way possible. If that's what you're ready for, click the link below to see how we can work together.